Yeah, now I do.
Okay, so San Diego, the jam knot, you got your tag end, main line, grab, and then got your 2 lines there.
Yeah.
Now I take these 2 fingers. These are like, so you got 2 fingers here.
Yeah.
And 2 fingers here. So you got 2 different appendages.
Yeah.
So you go through, or you know, around.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Through the loop, the bottom one, and then through the top one.
Jeez. It's like a slip knot in a way, but with a little more of a little extra line there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Just always spit on it.
Yeah, yeah. Always lube.
And especially with these that big eyelet,
yeah,
you're gonna have more friction than you want. And then I test it numerous times, like real hard.
Okay.
Your knot is your main worry. Like it's your it's your first concern is that knot.
Correct.
If you tie that knot and it comes back and the hook's gone and you have a hook on your line, it's a bad knot. Oh. If you come back and your line's, the fish is gone and the hook's gone, and you have a straight shear, then it was the line break, and it could have been dinged here. Like you can see the little thing there?
Yeah.
That's why I pull real hard, and I don't even like those. I'll trim them a lot of the time if I think there's another one there.
Oh,
but I'll trim them, because this line, I was throwing this buzzbait, and I caught a lot of fish with it over the weekend.
Gotcha.
So anytime you test those dings, and whenever you're in doubt, never hesitate to go ahead and retie.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the line I want you to try. And you got your spinner bait, you can cut that off, it'll give you a hook. Good.
I was gonna say I haven't caught a fish with it all year.
That's good. So we'll do it again one more time to show you. I'll show you a trick with this one, just because any bigger, let's say it's a big eyelet, you got a loop on my thumb.
Yeah.
Tag line and the main line.
Okay.
Okay. Now this is where it gets kind of tricky. You got to give yourself enough room. So I'll start about midway.
Okay.
Midway.
Okay.
Got the loop. Now I'm going to do it again with these 2 fingers, and you hook yourself sometimes, like tighten it. It's goofy, but it works. 3, 4 times. You can go 5, but 4 works through the loop that we've made on the eyelet.
Yeah. Okay.
With the loop that's in your hand.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like origami.
Yeah. Holy crap.
And now we got the loop up top on my finger. We're going back through that loop.
Holy crud.
Right? We're going to spin on it.
Okay.
Pull the mess. Pull the loop.
Okay.
And then pull the main line. And then pull this line. So
should that loop go? Be disappearing? Is that what's supposed to be?
See, it's a big mess of junk there.
Yeah.
Watch this. With your trimmers, you got 3 tag ends.
Jeez.
It's called the double San Diego jam knot.
Oh my God.
It's the strongest knot you'll ever fish with. You won't need another knot. You cannot break. I cut my finger. See that? The other day?
Yeah.
So I cut my hand before I break that line.
Okay.
That's a improved San Diego jam knot.
What? I have to watch that like slow motion like 5 times.
And it is on the interweb.
Is it? Okay.
So then we're going to take with a regular worm. This is a 2-aught.
Okay.
Now it's a stout, like a super wire hook. You will not bend this hook out on a fish.
Oh, jeez.
So 5-aught. Okay, this is. I want to show you some things with these worms.
Okay.
This is a Yamamoto Senko.
Okay.
Now the Senko has sand in it. They don't tell you that.
Oh.
This actually has salt and sand. Like if you grind it, you can get some of the salt chunks to start to come off.
Okay.
But it actually has sand. The sink rate of this is different than most of your other worms.
Because of the sand,
Because of the sand.
Yeah,
What this thing will do is when it hits the water, it actually does this number. It swims its way down. Now they don't tell you that. It looks like a do-nothing worm that's just going to go like this and fall.
Yeah.
But it swims, and that's why this gets a reaction from inactive fish. We're dealing with frontal conditions. These fish, we've got smallmouth, largemouth. Largemouth and smallmouth have 2 different attitudes. So when the smallies are eating, they like this weather.
Okay.
The largemouth don't. Now they'll still eat,
Yeah.
but each one has a different personality. Okay, so we got straight. This is what I want to teach you on these. Only within the last year I learned. You take, when you go in, you're taking this eyelet and paying attention and trying to run it straight on the worm, right? So when you're hooking, you're not just kind of like in at an angle. You're not here, you're not this way, you're not that way.
Just, straight down.
But you're trying to go straight in the middle. And then I'm paying attention, not up to the top, but I'm paying attention to the worm where the knot is.
Okay.
And I'm going straight along the worm. And what that's going to do, now when I come out and go to Texas rig it,
Yeah.
this thing is on the middle of the bait. I can get it to the middle of the bait.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Instead of it being
off to the side.
off to the side.
Or all.
So what happens
Gotcha.
is I mark it with my thumb where the bend is,
Okay.
and they bend the
Oh,
worm and go in at that where I marked it with my thumb.
Gotcha.
So I'm going straight in there and straight out
Gotcha.
like that. And that's your Texas rig. And now when you do this, it's absolutely straight.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Now the reason for that is when this thing hits the water, it'll wiggle down and you'll reel it, it'll swim straight. If you got a kink in it, it'll go whoop and it'll spiral.
Okay.
And it'll give you line twist, which if you don't want line twist,
Yeah.
you don't want it to bend.
Gotcha.
Now sometimes that bend and that little twist can make the fish react, so pay attention. If the fish aren't reacting to it straight, sometimes you can make it bend to try and get it to make the fish
little bit,
react.
yeah. Okay.
So this is called Tex-Pose. I mean, it's poked back in there.
Yeah.
You can drag this thing over the weeds.
Yeah. I do that with the crawls all the time.
Yep.
When I-
Tex-Pose. Now, better hookup, it's going to be exposed instead of Tex-Pose. But what you do for now is you can put that on your hook keeper on your rod,
Yeah.
and it's ready to fish.
So do you? Okay, because I saw you attach or with your rod. God damn it! Did I just wrap this around? Really? Eventually, I'll be able to ask my question.
Yeah, it's not kind 101.
Right. So, do you attach it to the reel itself, the crank itself, or do you attach it to? Because I see that you have it both ways.
Oh, okay. So,
Or does it really matter?
Daiwas have this thing here.
Yeah, because I have.
Yeah, and you can put a hook through there.
Yeah.
Here's
okay.
another thing you can do.
Because I also have the eyelet in the back. Though.
See this?
Yeah. Jesus.
Now, the reason I do that, some of the hook keepers I don't like. And you can actually cut the hook keeper off.
Yeah, because that's way
That's a
too
good
far.
one.
Is it?
That's a good
So I was
hook
gonna say
keeper. Now, when they're up here, this is a good one because you're not going to get caught in that.
Yeah.
It's attached on both ends.
Correct.
So that is one example. That's a Yamamoto Simple.
Okay.
This is a dinger. Now the dinger, when this thing hits the water, it just falls.
Okay.
Now it'll wiggle a little,
Not
but
too
it's
much.
slow.
Okay, so you
Because
gotta
less
take it slower.
it's a if you want to slow down and you think the fish are really lethargic, or what the slow fall will do is they see this thing falling in their face and they go, okay, that's falling, that's falling. Well, wait, now I'm curious, now I'm gonna fucking eat it.
Okay.
Pardon my French.
Yeah,
So
no, you're good.
they will a slow fall will sometimes get them to react, where the quicker fall they're like, it's already gone, I don't
Yeah.
care.
Yeah.
It's in my face, it's in my face. It's in what they call a strike zone.
Yeah.
Where that zone is what they'll eat.
Gotcha.
So although this is the same looking bait,
yeah.
they are not the same bait.
No. Okay.
And I Texas, or I wacky rig these. I'm gonna show you how to do some wacky rigging today too.
Okay.
But we're gonna cast around with a straight fall to begin with.
Okay.
And then we're gonna show you some light line stuff too with that.
Okay.
But I'm gonna take all sorts of lures. I'm going to take this to show you a trick too.
Okay.
When you get set up with a swing bait rod.
That thing looks massive.
Yeah, I've been whacking fish on that thing, dude.
Yeah.
Carry this extra stuff. You'll have it on video, so okay, hooks. We're going worming. Don't need anything else. Here's this. Here's this. Finally bought a new bag. Burnt a hole in my other one.
Oh shit.
It actually just tore from the weight of all the shit in there.
Oh jeez. I know. I'm wondering if that's that's what's going to happen with mine, because with all the boxes in there, it's like I need to stop doing that.
Right. If we don't have it, we're not gonna. Creatures grubs, got a worm box, some fruits. We're getting the magic juice, so I might as well.
Albino?
Make sure I got the hooks that I want to show you.
Okay.
This thing's magic too. I don't tell anybody about this. People say, oh, a buzzbait. This thing makes a buzzbait look stupid. Catches triple the amount of fish.
Jeez.
Can't see, it's all busted. The beads off.
Oh
This thing has seen I don't know how many fish, and numerous. That's what is it, John Mead? That little part key fish. Is that what it's called?
yeah.
I got a 412 on that buzzbait at John Mead. It's a magic bait,
And I'm just waiting for John Mead to really get back to where it was.
right?
But it's probably going to be a few more years. I mean,
Yeah, 3 years. So the fish I caught on whatever day, that Monday,
yeah.
that fish the factory there flooded, the fish factory, and broke. One of the dams broke,
Jeez.
and the whole area, like let's say this is a creek bed,
Yeah.
rose up 10 foot into the trees,
Holy crud.
and we thought the fish were gone.
Yeah.
And one of the ponds actually is unfishable anymore. But we're like, well, fuck, we're not gonna fish that.
Yeah.
And so we didn't go up there for a number of years, probably 4 years.
Oh, jeez.
And the fish in there have grown so big, so fast after the flood. So you'll be surprised if there's grass. And I'm talking good grass, hydrilla, milfoil.
Gotcha.
And we got carpet grass in here. I call it carpet grass.
Gotcha.
You've got I think there's a hydrilla that comes up in here too. But the types of grass are important as well. The place I was fishing on Monday has Eurasian milfoil. And that Eurasian milfoil's thick, and so people can't fish it. And they don't know how. So you get less pressure.
Okay.
So the less pressure, the fish are a little more apt to bite.
Gotcha.
This place is heavily pressured.
Yeah.
With some of the best fishermen on the planet, or in this state.
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
And I'm going to show you some cool spots here and here.
Okay.
7-pounder came out of here, a largemouth,
Jeez.
on a spinner bait. It was a few years back, but there's 8-pound fish in here. And I'll show you some tricks here about where you fish. You know Sean Rogers, right?
A little bit. I mean, we're
See
friends on Facebook. Yeah.
So your camera's not rolling, is it?
It is.
Just bleed his name out.
Yeah.
He's the best bass fisherman probably in this state.
Yeah.
That
seen
we've seen.
pictures. Yeah.
And I'm usually coming here and trying to beat the bank. You can leave it in the video if you put it on the internet.
If I put it on this probably be for more of me
Nice.
than anything.
But that guy and I are always trying to get here first at the spawn. So, do you have polarized sunglasses?
Yeah. Except I don't see anything through this water.
It's okay. So, see that cloud cover?
Yeah.
It's one of the most difficult things when that cloud cover's around
Okay.
to spot them. But what you start looking for is just the motion of the fish. But you know, you fish from here, you caught some fish.
Yeah.
And that's fantastic and all. But everybody and their grandma's mother-in-law's cousin fishes here.
Yeah.
These fish get extra addicted. So the only thing I would do to fish this, we can make a couple of casts.
Just be careful of the beavers.
Yeah.
That thing is huge.
Let's slap the water with the sailings here.
Oh.
Probably go to this opening. If you stand on that opening, those fish are done. Now they might already be done because we stood on top of them.
Oh, okay.
But I want to show you something. Your spinning rod. And we'll show you with mine to start.
Okay.
You can do it with a bait caster, but it's going to take more practice.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to have some backlashes today already.
Yeah. I started practicing with my bait caster, what I'm about to show you.
Okay.
And they've done pretty well this year with this. So, see how tight? My drag's pretty tight.
Yeah.
This is a 10, I think it's a 10-pound leader.
Okay.
10-pound braid, 10-pound leader. But I'm going to do it out here first. You sidearm it close to the water. When you let go, See how it skipped all the way like
Yeah.
a rock? Underneath that dock, there is fish right
Yeah.
now. And you just take it and
Jesus.
skip it under there, and you watch that line for twitches, and it sank all the way. So there's no twitches on the way down. And I want to see if you know this too. Okay, see the line, the bow in the line?
Yeah.
Now watch that bow. See how it's going away from us?
Yeah.
1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. That's
Ooh.
a fish. Did you see that?
Yeah.
That was a fish.
Gotcha.
Now, it's not the caliber we want, otherwise he'd have the fucking thing in his mouth.
Gotcha.
So I don't even need to set the hook, but he fucked up my tutorial. Okay, so the bow's in line. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000, 6, 1,000, 7, 1,000, 8, 1,000, 9, 1,000, 10, 1,000, 11, 1,000, 12, 1,000, 13, 1,000, 14, 1,000, 15, 1,000, 16. It stopped. Okay, it came back at us.
Okay.
That's, what did we get to, 16?
Something like
That's
yeah.
like 16 foot deep right there. It
Jeez.
sinks at about a foot per second. Now you can count it down towards the bank to find out, but 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. Okay, 16 divided by 3. That's about how deep you are. Okay?
Okay.
You can pay attention to your depth anytime you make a cast. You go cast over here, count your depth. You count, go out there, count your depth. I know this pond, and I would not ever do this and count to 30. It's 30 foot, 20 to 30
Yeah,
foot deep
yeah,
out
yeah.
there. Now they're probably not in that range.
Okay.
They don't. Now they will suspend, but the thing is they have to find something to suspend on.
Gotcha.
So now if there's a brush pile or a rock pile or something and you know where it is,
Yeah.
you could cast deep over the top of it to try and get those suspended fish.
Yeah.
But other than that, half the time you're waiting for that bait to sink all day. And you're a
Gotcha.
cranker. You don't like to. I see you on your videos. You're moving and going. You're cranking that rod, and
Yeah.
so don't waste your time. You're not patient enough to do that anyway, probably. So, but the worm is a patience game. So
Yeah.
cast it under there, count 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000, 6, 1,000, 7, 1,000, 8, 1,000, 9. And we're on the bottom. So now, cast back in there. Let's say you cast back to it. Now be careful with that wire there,
Yeah.
bar.
Gotcha.
But I'm counting 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000. I felt a tick, so 5,
Gotcha.
1,000, 6, 1,000, 7, 1,000, 8, 1,000, 9, 1,000. We're on the bottom. Okay?
Okay.
Now, if I would have started the count and it stopped at 4 and I didn't feel anything, I'm setting the hook.
Wait. What do you like? Oh,
Yeah.
didn't feel any, or if you felt something?
If you don't feel it, because everybody assumes, let's say a fish takes this.
Okay.
Okay, a fish bites it and sucks it in its mouth. Boom.
Yeah.
Right? Who's to say that fish didn't come at it like this?
Okay.
Now watch that rod tip. I mean, the fish sucks it in, got a little bit of this. Fish comes at you.
Oh, okay. So like
I
this
didn't
is.
feel it down here.
Oh,
it's
okay.
It's called a push bite.
Okay.
So pay attention to your line, and you can see that. See that thing wiggling? Watch this thing wiggle as it goes. It'll start to wiggle.
Oh, there it is.
See that wiggle?
Yeah.
Wiggle, 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 wiggle. It hits the water. You got even more of a wiggle. It wiggled. It wiggled. Anytime you put on new bait, test it like that. See what it does. Does it
Gotcha.
wiggle? Does it go straight? What does it do?
Okay.
And watch, and then just, you don't need to, no, you just pay attention to that. So you know what that bait's doing when it's out there.
Gotcha.
You don't have to do it every time, but it's, if you want to get real crazy scientific, we got bit out there, huh? So, watching that line. Watching that line. And I know what happened. That bite we got
Yeah.
came off the end of the beaver hut. Because it comes all the way out into
it comes
that.
a long way.
And so a little fish saw it and went out and ticked it. That's
Yeah,
all.
probably.
But try this rod. Try and skip. And this is going to be a different animal rod-wise. You're going to want to pick up a time.
So it started coming towards me.
Get about 12, 1,000, 13, 1,000,
Is it so?
there it is.
Oh.
14, 15, 16, that's like 16 at the bottom.
So do I just then reel it in, or is that?
Okay,
I
so
mean,
how do we work?
yeah, that's
Okay, this is the trick.
okay.
Can you feel that when you pull up real lightly without reeling, just barely pull up on the rod without shaking? Can you feel the worm on the bottom?
I'm gonna go with no.
Nothing? Okay, good. That's so what you're on is probably a nothing bottom.
Like so like nothing's around it or anything.
Sand.
Or rock.
And so what you do is when you're lifting, just real slow, nothing. And when you're going down, you reel up just a little bit of that bow. A little bit more, a little bit. And then once again, pull up just a little bit. And down to it. And what this will do with the bait is it's going to drag it real slow on the bottom, depending on your lift rate. Now you may pull it up off the bottom just a little bit. When you stop, it's going to go down, up and down. So it's either depending on your worm, and this is something the fish will have to tell you if it's happening. That little bit of, so what you can do, you pull up a foot, right?
Okay.
The next cast, you pull up 2 foot.
Okay.
2 foot raise. Sometimes you pull up just a little bit, a 6-inch raise, real slow, 6 inch, 1 foot, 2 foot, and you just drag. When it's really like a cold front condition or the highly pressured fish, that little worm just kind of sliding on the bottom is not what most fishermen are doing.
Gotcha.
So you pay attention to what the other guys are doing around you, right? If you see your buddy catching fish in a way or not, pay attention to what they're doing.
Okay.
Because they're not catching them, or they are catching them. So this is, let's use the rod. This is what we do summertime. I'll take this to the rocks, let it hit on the dam, and I rarely, like I say, I rarely go deep. That's too deep, 16 foot.
Okay.
So I would go this way, I'd go this way, let it sink. I'm always watching the line, always on. Now if it speeds up too, check it.
Okay. Hook sets are free.
Yeah, just because sometimes they'll hit it on that fall and they'll just start swimming with it real slow, and you won't know. But the rate of that line going out, the more you throw that bait that day, you'll know how fast that line's going out, how fast that line's going out, and then all of a sudden it's going out a little bit faster, and you can smash the fish. So I'll take it. You did the vertical, right?
Yeah.
I'll take it like this. Now I can feel the bottom.
Okay.
I mean, I can feel just a little bit of tension on that bottom.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
Yes.
And there's nothing there. There's no sand. And if I hit a rock or something, I can feel it, like kind of bump into it. But same thing. There's a rock. Did you see that?
Yeah.
It's okay. So right now it's tight.
Yeah.
See, it's kind of tight. Now it came loose. There's a little bit of muck there.
Okay.
This rod is so sensitive, and that's why I make fun of the other rods is because I can tell with this rod and this line setup, like right now I'm on a rock. Watch, see it come free?
Yeah.
That's how sensitive this setup is. It's like there's no bend and there's no give. It's a really fast tip. This rod, when you pull on it, that
Okay.
tip is right there. And this is all backbone from here to here, and even more so down here.
Gotcha.
Okay? That's the thing. This braid is another thing I was going to teach you about.
Jesus.
You see how fast that happened?
Yeah.
Like, they'll tie you up so fast, but it's the best. I mean, it's worth it because of the sensitivity.
Yeah.
So this braid and this fluorocarbon leader, this is fluorocarbon. So fluorocarbon's not going to have a stretch. It has some stretch.
Gotcha.
Monofilament. Did you say you have mono on the other one?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll show you the difference, but I wrap here and here, and I got it tight, and I can
Yeah, a little
see I
bend
got a
there,
little bit of give. So it's got a little bit of a stretch, but not very much. The braid has absolutely zero stretch.
Yeah.
If I hit a fish with this, give them everything I got, I can bust them off.
Gotcha.
And so this is a very powerful finesse technique. So it's like power finesse.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so that's like the drag with the Senko. The sink is, it's S-E-N-K-O. It's not S-I-N-K. Although the sink of the Senko is it's such a crazy deal. Like that thing right now is wiggling its way to the bottom.
Yeah.
And that's sometimes what you get to get them to come eat it. So those are one of the fish I caught in that post I put on Monday was 3 pounds 3 ounces. It was one of the bigger fish of the day. I cast out there. I knew it was about 2 foot 3 foot deep. Watched it sink. It hit the bottom. Okay, this isn't on the bottom yet.
I was gonna say, yeah,
So
it's
deep,
a little,
right?
yeah,
This
it's so deep
pond
there.
is crazy. Okay, now I'm on the bottom. See that loop coming back
Yeah,
at me?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so let's say I casted that thing out that day. I did this. Just like that. And the fish goes bang and fucking hit it. So all I lifted was that 1 foot lift. Okay, I'm on the bottom again. 1 foot, real slow. Let it sit, let it sink.
Okay.
And pow, they hit it. I mean, so now if they don't, I'm not going to do that all the way in. I'm not
Yeah.
going to do all the way in. I'm doing it in a high percentage area. I won't necessarily yo-yo it all the way in.
Gotcha.
I will cast it out, let it hit the bottom, drag slow, stop, drag slow, stop, drag slow in rocks.
Okay.
So on the dam, in rocks, you can take this. When the other guys are getting everything hung up, you can throw this in almost any rock pile and just slowly drag it. And it depending, like see how I'm at this angle here?
Yeah.
Bank's at the angle there.
Yeah.
I'm dragging sideways on a gnarly bank and the rocks are real heavy. Slowly lift it this way. That way you're creeping up over the rocks a little better.
Gotcha.
If you're afraid you're going to get that worm hung up.
Yeah.
So that's a few things. You learned anything yet?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So the skip, pay attention to the drop. We skipped it there. Now you can take it and try and get it in front of the dock. So we're far out. But you can try and get it real close to that post and try and fish the front. Now I'm right in that shit. This is
Yeah.
where, watch that line. And see how it's going, and I'm kind of moving the rod towards it so
Yeah.
that I'm not messing with the fall of the bait.
Okay.
While we were in the tree, that was cool. So it kind of paused,
Yeah.
and then it went again. What I did is I ticked it into that tree. So work it.
Yeah.
So now I'm kind of around that brush. I can just slowly work it around that brush, paying attention to what that line's doing. On the bottom. So this is a nothing bank. There's nothing here. There's no real rock piles or brush piles out here. That bank is flat. There's not much. A couple little rollers, but they might sit on the rollers sometimes. But that bank is where we're going to go and show you some more stuff.
Okay.
Once again, and see, this thing didn't even get hung up, and that was exposed.
Oh,
so
geez.
it's such a sweet rig. I mean, sometimes, yeah, you'll hang it up, but I have no problem busting them off. Buy plenty of hooks.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing about that I think about fishing is, for whatever reason you like it so much, we keep being provided with what we need.
Okay.
And one of my buddies, if you fish cautious, if you fish cautious, you're not going to catch as many as the guy that fishes reckless. Because, like, if a fish would have got me in that, he could have wrapped me up and people like, oh, I don't want to cast in there because if I get all wrapped up, I don't want to lose them. Don't care that. That's
I
good.
don't care.
And so don't be afraid to try and force a fish out of that shit or any other bush or anything.
Okay.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, see, that's the reason why I want to learn the worm, because I know it's the most effective one, and I just need to learn the patience of it, really.
Yeah, and it is a patient game.
Yeah.
I want to show you something else too that'll help with that, because the slow fall and just watching it's really not engaging as a fisherman. Okay, so that corner kind of comes down a little bit and then dips. Got your beaver hut. This bank is steeper. It's a steep inclined bank.
Yeah.
As opposed to a flat surface.
Gotcha.
So they will cruise this. You'll see some big fish cruising it sometimes.
Yeah. That's where I caught. That's down here is where I caught my craw on my favorite rod.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah. It's like 7 o'clock at night, but yeah, the video is terrible.
Like you can see, if you polarize, that's deep, right off the bank.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Like 3-4 foot real quick. We're gonna go to where there's a change that they might hang out on.
Okay.
The other thing that's really cool about this hut is you have, this one's called Black Rock.
Yeah.
You get that eagle or something.
Yeah. Eagle watch or something.
Now eagle's got the carpet grass all over it, so it's like fishing in this on the bottom. I mean,
Oh,
it's
okay.
a mess of junk. This one's got a nothing bottom, so if you want to come drag a crawdad here all the time, you can. Over there, you can't drag a crawdad.
Okay.
But you've got a different breed of fish there, like a totally different. There's a huge walleye in there. I mean, it's crazy. This place has no walleye.
Gotcha.
This one has giant cat, smaller than large. Let me go here. Cuba starts delivering burritos and crap. So let's do this. You've got your Senko tied up.
Okay.
So you make a few casts with your rod.
Okay.
Try and get that dialed in. Chilly this morning. It's starting to feel like October.
Right. Well, it's the 1st of October,
Yeah.
right? Okay. Okay.
So where I would see you got fish moving
That's
right
nice.
there. Yeah. What I would cast, okay, in front of us, this is a really cool spot. So you got your bank that's like really slanted. There's a roller here and it's real deep. There's a bunch of little, those are bait fish right there. But you got this weird, I want to say it's beaver hut, but there ain't no beavers.
Gotcha.
It's a little tiny baby bass right there
Yeah.
getting chased. So there's all this sticks and junk in here. So this type of bait's great in these sticks.
Okay.
And also there's like these weird, so it's not a nothing bank. It's got some contours, it's got some sticks. There's definitely big rock down there. And then real close over here, it comes up real flat, and that's a flat.
Yeah.
With a couple really nice rollers, good fish attracting. Contour of the bottom is all very important.
Okay.
It's like us. We stop on things. Like when we go, we don't always consciously know it, but when we go sit somewhere, there's definitely like a highway that we follow. And so fish always have a highway. They always got a fish path. They don't really just go into nowhere. They're always following something. Okay? So wiggle that thing like parallel this way or parallel to the bank that way. See if the drag's set up good. So where you're at, it's probably 7 foot. And you can see the line on the water in the loops.
Yeah.
I'll watch that too. You can see it kind of sinking, and it's following the rings. Sinking with the rings. You see that?
Yeah.
So sometimes when they hit it, you'll see the line on the surface go tick, and you won't feel it in your rod.
Gotcha.
Got in one of the little brushes down there. And stop. And you can slow down too sometimes, like, just let it sit. There you go. Let it go again. Let it sit. Let it sit. Let it sit. Let it sit. Go again. And then you know you're about right here, and the fish are probably not in our face. So that's when I reel up, and I don't waste a lot of time once I get close to them.
Yeah. Had a few big ones hit, but that was always on spinnerbait. So.
Right? There's a school of baby bass. You see these bass in front of us?
Yeah, I saw a little flash there.
Get your polarized?
Oh, I saw the flash with.
I mean, they're
I think
just
these are
hovering,
crap.
suspended right there. So same thing, cast that way. Let me try and cast this real quick, see if we get you dialed in.
Okay. Cause yeah, I just went from the spinnerbait, of course.
Exactly. Okay, so to set this up, this is something I learned in Florida. Kind of rock this back and forth, left and right. And if you can get it to knock, you're in pretty good shape. So you can let that up. Where are you set here? You're on 5. How do we want to do this with you? Let's go 10. Let's get safe. And you can fish it. See how I'm twitching it?
Yeah.
Sometimes when you do that on the reel end, it'll come up, it'll smash it.
Gotcha.
So when it goes real slow like that, that's a good deal.
Okay.
Now, you're set good. Now it depends on how brave you want to get with the thing. I can take this thing, turn it all the way to 0. Turn this back a bit. Ooh, you want to do that. And it's loose. See how it's loose?
Correct, yeah.
And I'm pretty quick on the draw, so I didn't even get a deep lash.
Gotcha.
But it's so loose now. You see how it went left?
Yeah.
You have to really pay attention. And that thing, you can rocket that thing as far as you want, but that's dangerous on 0, okay? This is a nice setup. What you got here,
Okay.
this is really gonna work for you. I tightened it, and now it's pulling it to the left a little bit more. But we'll put you're on 10. Try 8. See how that feels. A little bit better?
A little bit, yeah. Just gotta probably learn how to side cast a little more. Probably.
And that's a good spot, so keep around that line.
With the worm, you're just trying to do it in one motion, right? Instead of tapping it like you would a craw or something.
The actual retrieve.
Yeah.
This fish, oh, it's a frog. Yeah, generally I will. So it hit the bottom. I'll lift it a couple of times. Now, what you're doing right now, the very first cast, try it. You're pulling it in, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you don't get bit 5 casts, don't do that cast anymore. Don't do that retrieve anymore.
Okay. Like
try something different.
Gotcha.
Or what I'll do is I'll cast it, let it fall, let it fall, let it fall, let it fall, let it fall all day.
Okay.
Just let it fall. But with the twitches, sometimes I'll go like instead of the twitch, it'll be that lift it 6 inches, let it drop. Or lift it 2 foot, let it drop. That's the difference in the twitch. The twitch is
so it's just more of
the lift instead of twitch.
Gotcha. Okay.
Now you can wing it to the thing about fishing, as I said, they're not out there. You may cast it all the way out there, sit here and drag it all the way back and catch the biggest damn bass of your life. But the fish got to tell you who's right or wrong.
Yeah, gotcha.
But after fishing this for so many years, typically I follow this bank line all the way, 30 foot out, just cast distance or less. But I definitely like to do what you're doing there, is to parallel it some. Get a little bit of a lash.
Yeah, or it loosened up on me.
And so part of that is in your, it's like a baseball. There's a big frog, dude. That's awesome. So it's when you release, sometimes we're stiff like this and we release. Yeah. It's kind of like a swing instead of a swing. So you kind of, it's in that release for real. And the funny thing is I say that, and sometimes I'm like jiving, and then I'll hit one stiff and I'll backlash the piss out of it.
Gotcha.
So you get in a groove, but don't be too hard on yourself if you're not. Is everyone swimming with it? That's a nice little brush pile down there, huh? Like, as soon as you can feel that junk, you're in their neighborhood. But we're in ultra fucking clear water right now.
Yeah.
Those fish, they know what, they can see us up here.
Correct.
This is the clearest pond. It's like California clear. And when the clouds are starting to break up a little bit, you'll get a little bit of a better feel. We might be able to see some fish following it. And especially at the spawn, we'll be able to tell a little bit what's going on, as opposed to that cloud banging off the top of the surface.
Correct, yeah.
Okay, so that's a little bit of idea with that thing. We'll get you set up with a totally different technique. See? So with your spinning rod, grab that spinning rod.
Okay.
This is gonna be, you're a finesse guy. This is gonna be something that you might really get a fucking kick out of at some point. This is 8-pound line.
Correct. Thought about LASIK yet?
I have been. I got new contacts that help with stigmatism,
Oh, okay.
but the new contacts make my shit blurry up close.
Oh, so they help you a long ways, but not short or up close.
Yeah.
That sucks.
It's crazy because I see really, really good far now. So same thing, we went
Yeah.
through here, we're gonna go through the top. San Diego
Is that the
Jam.
loop you made with it? Or is
Uh-huh.
okay, so all right, so it's just almost like a slip knot, just an extra line involved.
That's the jam knot. Now, sometimes with the finesse stuff, I'll do that clinch knot. But I swear I've broke fish off with that stupid clinch knot.
Oh, see, I use slip knot on everything.
Yeah. I don't even know a slip knot.
Oh, it's just that way, and it's just freaking just tossing a what? It's the same thing, except you're not using that extra line.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So it's pretty much almost the same thing you just did.
So this is a bait that I don't ever show anybody, and it's the wrong color, but it'll work like a baby bass right now. I think I used that. These are the ones. Let's try this guy. Good color, good bait. Smallmouth or goofy, they're like white.
Okay.
So this thing, you will love and hate this hook if you ever buy any of them.
Yeah.
It's a Gamakatsu Finesse Weedless. So what I do is I take, you got the collar on the smooth, and then there's the little rings.
Yeah.
Just about where that collar stops, towards the middle of the bait, I go straight through.
Okay. Do you ever put a little rubber band?
No, I got them, and I never use them.
Okay, just curious.
So that's that deal. Now let me see this rod. We're gonna try something. Let's see how this feels. We'll come over to the opening where we have a little more room.
Okay.
I guarantee you, on every bit of my life, that if you take this worm at the spawn and come here and do this at the spawn,
Yeah.
and you're fishing around these nesting fish, you will catch 17-inch smallmouth out of here. Okay?
Do they spawn differently down here than largemouth, or is it?
They do. The smallmouth are more aggressive, so they actually run the larges out. Okay, so you'll take this deal, bring it out there. Now this is 8-pound line,
Yeah.
which is good, and you can do this for a while. Now if you do that little braid to fluoro, my cast distance would have been further,
Okay.
even though it was just a little loft.
Yeah.
But this is going to be a fun ride with these smallmouth, and you can do it with 6-pound line, 8-pound line. I use 8 because they're fucking mean fish, but 6 or 8. And I used to run straight fluoro all the time. So what we got here is exactly what I used to do. Now
That's
see,
mono.
this is a mono.
Yeah, mono.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
It's fluoro is going to be more sensitive, and it's also less diameter.
Okay.
It's a thinner line. Now, when I reel, I put my finger forward. It tightens up the line on the spool.
Oh, okay.
A lot of people don't do that.
No, yeah.
When it's a
I
really
might-
light bait like that,
yeah.
I'll do that. Sometimes I'll put that finger out to tighten up that line instead
Okay.
of going like this and it gets a little loose on there.
Yeah, yeah.
But this is on the bottom. You can feel if you go real slow, it's on the bottom. But what I do is I'll take the rod, point it not at the bait, but at an angle, and I'll shake it. That rod tip only moves about an inch.
Are you slowly but surely moving your arm?
Slowly
Are you
dragging.
moving your? Okay,
Yeah.
so you're still dragging it across.
And I'm gonna rig mine up with the same thing, but I'm gonna have you do this while I'm rigging mine up with the same deal. And I'm gonna show you what that rod will feel like in comparison to the stick.
Okay.
This ugly stick is a good treble hook bait, like a inline spinner,
Yeah, that's pretty much where I started.
small crankbait.
Okay.
Because when the fish is, hold that in, when the fish eats it, you got all sorts of wiggle
Yeah,
from here to here.
all types of play.
He's thrashing his head. He's not going to pull that fucking hook out of his mouth ever.
Gotcha.
You have a stiff rod, and he does jerk like he'll tear a hole, and sometimes they'll jump, and then the bait goes flying.
Oh, okay.
But also, when they're doing this, sometimes they'll you get bit. Sometimes
No, I was just trying to get it out of the tree.
sometimes they'll eat it when it's sitting there. But they're so strong. A smallmouth can actually straighten out your hooks. It can be pinned with top and bottom, and they're so strong that they can open their mouth and bend the hooks out.
Jeez.
Right? So here's another trick. Keep your
Okay.
arms stiff like that, and then just even slower. Just kind of wiggle that rod tip 1 inch. Probably on something there. And what you're trying to get is you're trying to feel that bait go bounce, 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 bounce when you're wiggling that rod tip, where it's like going ding, ding, ding. Can you feel it going ding a little bit?
Yeah.
And when it's going ding down there, you see that worm? You
Yeah.
see how it's moving?
Yeah.
They can't stand that shit. Because that looks like a little minnow just sitting there swimming and struggling. Oh, you got some freebies.
Let's see.
Let's see what we got here.
Oh, Jesus. Oh.
Got somebody's donation to the fish gods. Treasures?
Anything? I see a worm. Oh, is that a leaf?
This is just a bunch of junk.
The hook.
We'll save the birds.
Yeah.
Go ahead and try and wing that out there a couple times, which you can do too. Oh gosh. Now what am I gonna do?
Yeah, I always tuck it and stick it in my back pocket.
Yeah, I'll keep that. So we went this way,
Yeah.
right? We went, oops. So, this is that way, and we're kind of pulling and doing this,
Yeah.
okay? We can go this way. Sometimes the pull feels a lot different. I'm just barely wiggling that thing.
Yeah.
It's not on the bottom yet, mind you. But we want to get it to where it's down there, and I'm doing this, and I can feel it going boing boing. There's the fish. See that little guy tugging on it? Those little fucking minnows are eating it. So you might catch one out there. Try that. Get a little smallmouth bass. Actually, a 12, 13 inches.
Right? That'd be awesome. Okay. So. I'm just not feeling it. Mine might a little too far out.
Those guys tug on it?
Nah.
Little bastards. Okay, let's see what this thing does. I want to feel this since I felt that. See how I put my finger forward?
Yeah, I actually just noticed that
it's
now.
kind of a stability thing. When I do this,
Yeah.
it's more wrist. This kind of gives the
helps
whole
a little.
strength.
Gotcha.
So shake that deal real quick. Slower. Wiggle and shake. Wiggle first and then move. Wiggle is the important part and then the move is the next. Can you feel it?
Yeah.
Kind of feel going boing, 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 boing.
Yeah.
Once you get it to where you're going boing, 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 like when it's moving in, like it's kind of twitching in. Some good stuff down there. You feel how sensitive that is?
Yeah. I can feel night and day almost.
Yeah. I used to set the hook on everything. When I got a rod like this, I
Yeah.
went from something like this and I was like, oh fuck, I just got bumped. Something tapped it, something. And what I was doing, I was banging it on little rocks.
Oh, okay.
And so this is this is graphite. But what happens is it's so fast or so moderate that you don't have that electric feel all the way through.
Gotcha.
Get that rod tip going. Ding, 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 ding. The trick is wiggling the rod tip.
I know, yeah, like that's pretty much like the same thing with the Atomic Tees. We're just trying to
Getting that rhythm. And here's the thing that I've discovered with these fish. I can take this to Chafffield at the spawn. I don't know where the fish are. I can blind cast it out there and doing this. If I don't feel that fit, that boing, 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 if I don't feel it doing that ding, 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 I don't get a bite. As soon as I get the rhythm right, it goes ding, 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 fish start picking it up. And a lot of fish.
Okay.
So now you can even see the whole thing twitching down there. Kind of on a little stick, and then see it go twitch, twitch, twitch. It's a very finicky finesse thing, but I'll tell you what, there's a nest every year right out in front of us on a cinder block,
Oh, geez.
and there's always a giant fish on it. And sometimes you can just take that worm, and this rod will work for this.
Okay.
You'll be happier once you get something like that, I guarantee. One, because you're going to have more control over the fish. when you get one of these 17-inch smallmouth on and you want to turn it left or right, ooh, that was a fucking bite. Little guy. You'll have power from not just right here, your power is right here.
Yeah.
That thing, you got 3/4 of the way of power.
Okay.
And these are very, very fucking tough fish. So once again, your drag is important. I always, what I'll do on these some of the time is I'll set the drag real tight. Cast it out there, shaking it, and then the fish hits, and I'll barely pull into it real, and when I pull, I can feel that thing starting to tighten up, and I kind of keep pulling a little bit, not almost like I'm trying to get to the maximum breaking point.
Okay.
Without breaking it. And then he probably followed this in. You see him? You see that giant right there? He's swimming away from us.
Okay, I need to get some better glasses.
He's following it. He's following it. You see him? Okay, he's right out there. That's a 4-pound fish. So he went this way. Are you sure they're polarized?
I don't know anymore.
Let me see. So if you take 2 pairs of polarized sunglasses, put them up at the sky, like this.
Yeah.
See how you can see through them?
Yeah.
If you twist them, see how it went black?
Yeah.
You're both polarized, so you're good.
Okay, because I was gonna say I got these at the Sportsman's Expo, like 2 for $20 or something. So
these are gas station $10.
Oh, okay.
Dude, that was a monster. So that's when, like, we could try and throw that Senko out there and try and catch this fish that we brought in. So what this does is an attractor.
Yeah.
And we may get one to smoke this fucking swim bait.
I'm surprised you can bring it in that slow without dragging the bottom.
So this bait is so kick-ass. It's got an adjustable weight system in it.
Oh, geez.
Let's see if we get that big guy to come in. See him. Dude, that was a fucking beast. And they'll do it at the other pond too, so that's not the only place that we'll get one to follow.
Gotcha.
But that fish was that long.
God.
It was a big, big smallmouth. I'm gonna do one more.
Okay.
But you can, like, I've just taken it, like, pop it out there, make it twitch out there.
Yeah.
And once again, I'll show you once you get the bait in, what it does if that fish don't smash the Jesus out of it. But that's the thing, is if we were doing anything else, we probably never would have saw that smallmouth come up.
Yeah.
But these big swim baits, they attract the fish. They'll follow it. They're like a cat chasing a laser pointer. So we'll watch when it gets closer, see if anybody's on it. See anybody on it. Because they'll nose like right on it. And then I'll watch out here to see if he veers off. I don't see anybody out there. But watch this thing twitch. And I get it close. When I twitch it, watch what the bait does.
Jeez.
And sometimes that twitch, they'll just bam, they smash it. Kind of want to fish for that fish, but we'll keep teaching you some stuff. That was a beast. This place is fire. I mean, it's so much fun. But this time of year, I haven't spent a lot of time here, except for when it gets a little bit colder.
Okay. So probably later this month.
We're about there, and what happens is where we're going, there's shad and they're starting to die off.
Oh, okay. So
And
they
I have
come
a
up.
specific bait that I throw at them, a swim bait.
Okay.
It's in my car. I'll show you if I remember when we go back.
Yeah.
But these 3 and 4 pound smallmouth just destroy this swim bait. They love it. Here's those mussels.
Yeah, yeah.
And so these white dudes, you'll see them, they'll clear a patch of these so bright, so you look for the bright and shiny dudes. And that's how you can find those nests. They'll do it on this other pond too. What we can do too is we can get the bait and switch. We get one to follow it in over here. You have that worm ready.
Yeah. Okay.
You might be able to catch one of these fucking followers.
Would that be the spinner bait or the bait caster worm that you're talking about?
Either which one you want.
Oh, okay.
Probably the bigger.
The bait. Okay,
Yeah,
so the
because
big
that tantalizing fall.
Gotcha.
Trash. Fishing gods like us because we cleaned up a little bit of trash. So that rod, that's a $90 rod that I got for $5 from the Walmart in Brighton.
Oh, Jesus.
Do you remember Ryan?
Yeah, is that the way he was?
They called me. He's like, dude, I got a sale up here. So I headed
God
up
damn
there.
it.
He's like, I got $5 rods. I'm like, what do you got? He's like, Daiwa, Falcon. I said, dude, I'm on my way.
God damn.
Ladybugs, fun if there's like spawning.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I know. I just want to catch a fish out of that every time I'm here.
Yeah.
I'll go around that thing just for the hell of it.
You and
I'll
everybody
see.
else like that. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, I'll just try it. Well, that's why I toss the atomic teaser and just try and catch one of those little bluegill.
Those little guys, yeah.
Yeah, just to release like, hey, I caught one out of here. Because yeah, I know people, fish brain, are like, yep, I caught him out of here. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
God fucking damn it, dude.
So a trick to what you're doing too, anytime you're fishing anywhere, remember where you're buying baits from, where are you fishing, what are you doing, and if you see other guys, look at their kind of equipment, kind of check them out, sneaky,
Yeah, yeah.
and because you probably don't plan on going anywhere, you're gonna be in Colorado, so you'll see the guys doing some shit. Don't do what they do if you can try and think outside the box just enough.
Okay.
This 5-inch Senko, you can't catch nearly as many fish on this thing as you did when I picked them up. It was 17 years ago, I think. You would cast this thing out there, and if the fish didn't smash it on the fall, as soon as you did that little lift and drop drag thing, a fish was on there.
Jeez.
3 to 5 pound fish. I mean, over and over and over and over again at Quincy Reservoir.
Gotcha.
Now,
You're lucky. Yeah.
you're hard pressed to catch a Senko fish unless you're doing it at the right time. Like the other day, I had one follow the swim bait. I said, oh fuck. I grabbed the Senko rod, blipped it right out in front of him, and he banged it.
Yeah.
So it's called a follow-up bait. Sometimes you'll be running a crankbait or a spinner bait, and the fish will come right at you and follow it in,
Yeah.
and they don't eat it. Well, you follow it up with like a little weightless Senko or a weightless tube,
Okay.
and you can get smashed on the follow-up bait.
Gotcha.
Casting is a big thing too. Like the way that your bait is hitting the water affects fish in different ways. Like when you're bombing this bad jammer out there,
Yeah.
if you bomb that in front of a fish, it's gonna scare the piss out of it.
Yeah. If it doesn't knock them unconscious.
Exactly. But if you wing it out there and then you drag it by them, they don't care.
Yeah.
Now I can cast this thing and make it kind of just slowly into the water with some practice. I've been getting better at just slow drift into water.
Okay.
that worm right there, the 5-inch that you got on,
Okay.
the other day I had it set up on the spinning rod with the Texas rig, just like you got.
Okay.
And it's about a 3 or a 2/0 hook like the one you got. And I found a shade. It was sunny. It was about 11 a.m. and the trees were hanging over this little grassy patch and created a shady spot in
Oh, geez.
Washington Park in Denver.
Yeah.
And I had cast a Senko under a dock. I cast it around some weeds. Nothing. Found that shady spot where the overhangs were.
Yeah.
And I cast it up in there, and I fucking fish hits it. And I set the hook, and it breaks me off.
Oh.
Like motherfucker. So I tied on another one real fast. Pitched up in there, caught a fish. Pitched up in there, caught another one. Pitched it. I caught 7 fish
Jeez.
on that worm. Just Texas rig. Just let it straight
The
wiggle
weightless,
fall
yeah.
in a shadow.
So,
So it's the sink rate of that bait.
okay.
The other thing about that is the way I had to sidearm it like I showed you under that dock
Okay.
to get it into that shady spot.
Gotcha.
It's the only way I could get those
So you're
fish to react.
skipping it in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was funny because it was like a loft skip. I had to get it that far out there, I had to go. And so it's kind of going like this, and then it would go in underneath.
It's going to take some practice to do that one.
And the cool thing about this is winter's coming up. You can practice if you got any open water. You're casting,
Yeah.
or you can go in the backyard, put a coffee cup out,
Yeah.
take your hook off and bend it up or whatever, and then mimic the weight of what you use. Like use a 1/2 ounce jig or 3/8 ounce.
Okay.
You can cut the hook off an old jig and
Yeah,
use
I still
that
have
weight,
I
so
still
you-
have that one that you gave me.
yeah. That way, when you're practicing the same kind of materials that you're actually going to be fishing with.
Gotcha.
Look at this.
All right. I know.
Good Lord.
Little cutie.
Show dog.
Morning. Hi.
It's like, look at me.
That's
It's a
awesome.
stretch limo.
Right, a little Viking.
Okay, so where are we? Pay attention to this bank here and during the spawn. Fucking monsters, dude. And there's and it's the stretch from about that little green tree there
Okay.
to there's a point up here that you'll see. You might fish that today. It actually comes out
that
onto
comes
the pond. Yep.
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
And they spawn all along that, and they spawn along that north bank.
Okay.
Big ones too.
Because I've caught the 2 ones I've caught is in that little inlet, and then where the water comes in.
Yeah.
Or the 2 bass I've caught out of that one.
Right.
I've yet to catch anything out of this one.
So the spawn happens here on the bank that we're on, from about right in front of us, that away, until the connection starts where that little pocket is. But the other side, you typically won't do well with any spawning activity over there.
Okay.
Not around here, not around here, not around here, not around here, and then bing, they start spawning. And we're talking giant fish.
Okay.
And what I would do a lot of times, I wouldn't even post the pictures because I didn't want my friends knowing they were eating.
Yeah.
Because they'd be like, "Oh, I heard SPP, huh?" I'm like, "Yeah." And then all of a sudden you come
I
out here
got
and
nickname.
your buddies are fishing too.
Gotcha.
And the thing is, when they're spawning, you'll
Shoot,
catch them.
I have 2 fishing buddies, and they don't go
Yeah.
unless I go, or unless I invite them.
We should try that fucking shaky worm around here. There's a little bit of algae, but that water is really clear.
Yeah.
let's try that shaky, or you can try the Texas rig there too. But this is where I feel like you have a good chance of getting something to actually bite. I hooked the biggest carp I've ever had on in my life in here last year, and I lost it.
Oh Jesus!
The carp, his head was this wide.
Oh my God!
It was fucking giant. I had him almost wore out, and then he took another run and popped off. I had him snagged. So when you cast that, once again, parallel.
Yeah.
I say parallel, but it's kind of
Yeah,
like
I know what you mean.
whatever angle of the bank.
Normally, what I do with my spinnerbait, actually.
Okay, let it sit, because you're probably still sinking.
Am I?
It's pretty deep right there. See if you pull real slow, if you can feel that bottom. You feel it?
Think so.
There you go, you see it, the line's kind of doing the top and bottom dance, and you can probably feel that worm going ding, 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 ding. Does that make sense?
Yeah. As I know, I think of it with the tip making a note or filling the sound. It's got to be making a vibration in the water.
Right.
That's how I always think of it when I'm doing the atomic teaser.
And the slower you go, the more you get that little worm dancing just in their face.
Gotcha.
And what it does is it irritates them. The longer it stays in front of them, it'll actually just irritate them into picking it up and checking it out.
See what it tastes like.
But here's another trick for you. This is a terrible technique this time of year. The shaky,
Yeah.
it's terrible this time of year. Now, what happens is you'll have a day where you'll catch the piss out of them doing it, or catch 3 ginormous fish.
Yeah.
But come about summertime, when that water gets nice and hot, when you think that water gets hot, the weather gets hot, switch over to a Texas rig.
Okay.
Like that straight big one.
Yeah.
Or something different altogether, which we're going to show you some more.
Okay.
Like, have you thrown a drop shot before?
No.
We'll tie up a drop shot out here, but it's always worth making a few casts with this thing to see. Like, you didn't get bit over there, so now I would bring it way that way and see if there's not one cruising the bank this way. There you go. Perfect. Long casts like that are important with smallmouth because they can see your ass.
Well, that just turned into a crapshoot.
Start getting loose on you.
Yeah.
So monofilament floats.
Yeah.
So what this does with this technique is it's going to slow your sink even more. And that thing's sinking.
Okay.
Now it's minimal at best, but it's still, if you want to fish fast, you know, you've only got so much time and you're thinking time crunch or tournament thinking is why I do it.
Okay.
Because when you're fishing a tournament, you want to maximize all of your time on the water.
Okay.
Every cast matters, every minute matters, every flub matters. If you take it real serious. But a fluorocarbon will sink faster with a little rig like this. On the other end of that, you may be fishing with an 8-pound fluorocarbon and not catch them. The mono slows it down, you get bit.
Okay.
So paying attention to what you're using at that time. That's why fishing buddies are great. Some guy's using something, you're like, damn, I'm using the same bait and you're catching fish. Why are you catching them and I'm not? Is there something tugging on that?
Doesn't feel like it.
Okay. But my buddy did that to me often. We were using a spinner bait. He's catching fish and I'm not. I'm like, what the shit is it going? Let me see your spinner bait. Well, the blade on his bait was a little bit bigger. So that thumped more and slowed the bait down and he was whacking fish.
Gotcha.
Now the other way around can happen sometimes. Like I'm throwing a slow thumper and he's throwing a faster one. It's ding, ding, ding. I'm like, God dang it. And most of the time we think, oh, the fish aren't biting. Fish aren't biting. Well, I was using this at Chatfield and we were catching fish after fish after fish. We go the next weekend, nothing.
None.
So we go the next weekend and then we caught some more fish. Like, okay, this shit's working. We go the next weekend, catch a couple more. We go the next weekend, we catch like 1, 2. We go the next weekend, we're like, the fish left. We're not getting bit, nothing. These fish were gone.
Yeah.
What I did is I took a small jig and I threw it out there with a crawdad on it and proceeded to catch fish after fish after the fish were right in front of us and they would not pick up that worm. And they were destroying a crawdad. So same thing could be happening right in front of us right now.
Yes.
Is even though we're trying to figure out some worm stuff, they may be eating crawdads. But sometimes what this does is the way you twitch it, like if you let it sit and then go shake, 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 let it sit. Shake, 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 let it sit. Sometimes that little twitch, 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 they might think that's a crawdad trying to get away. So you can use this to imitate a crawdad or a little minnow or whatever it is twitching the whole time.
Yeah.
A worm, a nymph, larva. But give that a couple more tries and then we'll try something different.
Okay.
It's sweet to catch a fish on one of these worms.
Right.
There's shad in this pond. That river dumped some shad in here from like Chatfield.
Okay.
And the other pond has no shad. That pond has no shad. So this pond also has shad, walleye, some big trout, whereas that one we were fishing earlier has no trout. This one has a couple big browns. Now the other one on the other side has giant walleye, bigger than this pond. Big largemouth, big smallmouth, and they stock some trout occasionally. This one they don't stock the trout.
Okay.
The trout that are in here got here from the river. Now you see how the thing's kind of water skiing in?
Yeah.
That's another thing to pay attention to when the spawn is on. And you're coming in and you get it close and you see it up off the bottom, slow it down.
Okay.
So you're definitely on the bottom.
Gotcha. Okay. So definitely need to slow down some.
Another way to fish that. Do you have worm hooks?
Worm hook? Like, what do you mean?
So like the worm hook on that rod. You have hooks like that?
I think so, but I mean, I was gonna probably go by Best Buy eventually and probably buy some more or buy some.
Biggins. Oh, I can. Okay. This is another thing you can do. with that rod, I'll make a few casts. So let's see if they're working. You can keep that hook.
Okay.
Prototype, use it, whatever you want. Like I said, you will love and hate that hook.
Yeah.
You will catch a bunch of fish, and then some days you'll lose a bunch of fish. But I've had days on that thing where it was like, I couldn't fucking go wrong. That cut, every time I do that, it goes right back in that cut. Caught so many fish, but I still got teeth marks there and there. It was awesome. Did I drop it? Yeah, I did.
I wasn't sure if that was you or a bird that flew by.
The bird just shit on us.
Great.
So this looks like a little bluegill or a little baby bass. Same thing with the other one. You would just go in and straight down the worm, trying to keep it centered here.
Gotcha.
So your worm falls fairly straight. So that's almost perfect where that, because sometimes you'll see it kind of, it'll be all bing to the side.
Yeah.
And that'll create a cock in the worm.
So then you just redo it? Sometimes
if you can redo it. Now when you set the hook on this, give them the business. Hit it pretty hard.
Okay.
This is some stout line. So that's the same deal. Parallel, let it sink.
Okay, and then just
count it down, watch your line, see if you can see it at the bottom.
It's a little further
That's
up
gonna be real
than
deep. But they may be out there, so let us sit.
Jesus.
Yeah, we'll get you, you get that braid on there. I mean, you can, I've done it like this, where you get the loops and you just straighten it and you just keep fishing it, right? So I've done that. You can do that. There's nothing wrong with that. It's your patience level. And then I switched to that braid. It's just a little bit more costly way to do it, but man, it's so cool. So I think you might be on the bottom.
Yeah.
The way to do this is not to shake it. No shaking.
So just
If you move it, you can kind of feel it on the bottom. You can feel it kind of tugging on some stuff down there. Like a little bit of resistance, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah, so there you go, real slow stop. Drag, sections like that big. Drag a foot, stop, drag a foot, stop, drag a foot, just real slow, dragging it on the bottom like I'm a little fish or I'm a little crawdad. And those stops are important. Did it just stop?
Yeah, because of voice command.
Oh, when I said this, STOP. Hey, GoPro, no STOPs.
No auto.
So this is what I do when it gets hot.
Okay.
When they will stop biting the shake,
Okay.
I will Texas rig and drag and catch the bejesus out of it. Now we're post some all that. What we're in is a transitional time of year.
Yeah.
Those cold nights we just had
Yeah, in the rainy days.
are changing up these fish to where it's junk fishing season. You'll probably do well like on a jig. Those swim baits are good.
Okay.
Other types of swim baits can shine. But what will happen is a fish, if they see this thing and they're on the bottom and they're in a feeding response, they'll smack it. Even today. I mean, the numbers won't be great, but you can still get good. Size is another thing. That's a 3-inch bait, the other one's 6. Sometimes a 4-inch worm is the ticket.
Gotcha.
I have 4-inch Senkos in this bag. There's 4-inch stick worms. But when this one falls, it doesn't wiggle at all.
Okay.
It's just a straight fall.
Kind of looks like a Ned rig almost.
And that's what people Ned with, is something like this. Now what you can do too to speed the process up, I don't think I have them. It's a split shot rig. So you take a split shot and put it like a little jig head in front of that.
Okay.
And that'll fish it faster. So sometimes that falls a little faster and they'll get them to react. Or sometimes just the fact that you're getting on the bottom faster, you get to fish more casts in a day.
Gotcha.
And have more of a chance of hooking a fish. So, probably still not on the bottom yet. Or did you see the line stop?
I was gonna say it hasn't moved.
And that's the thing with the mono and that float you got. It'll probably be hard to feel, or hard to see it actually stop, unless it's a little heavier worm. Like if it was the 6-inch, it'd probably be a little more visual with the line stopping and going. I think you're on the bottom now. But the fact that you're going slow too keeps it definitely down there. We're going to go to the magic spot on this pond in a minute. But what I wanted to show you, you can see this log.
Yeah.
There'll be a big spawner right here. There'll be a spawner on that the bush that kind of hangs out over the water a little bit.
Yeah.
There'll be nothing the rest of the way. And then from this way, there's a nest right here that I can see that's an old nest.
Yeah.
And then they sporadically, sometimes they'll be a distance apart, like 30 foot. Every 30 foot there'll be a nest.
Jeez.
It's insane.
That's pretty close.
Yeah, and so they're territorial. They'll run them off only so far. Like they'll be like the next male over. They'll let him only get so close to their nest.
Gotcha.
And then the big females will cruise along here and pick their males to dance with. I caught a 6-pound, 4-ounce fish on that bait right there that you're using.
Jeez.
In this, the grass pond that's over here. And we're gonna fish that before we leave, probably too.
Okay.
And you make this the biggest thing of fish you ever seen. So try the 5-inch a couple of casts. See if.
Okay. Do you care about the moss, or do you just like leave it on and just use it for extra weight, or?
I typically clean.
Okay, yeah, that's what I normally do too. I saw Bradley do that, and he caught a fish, and I'm like, like I'm pretty sure you whacked it all off by your cast.
Oh, is that right? He had some on it.
Yeah.
Oh, I was fishing with moss on it.
Right.
May have been part of the pattern. I think a lot of the time we overthink it, but I typically will fish pretty clean.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna throw the swim bait.
Okay.
This algae bloom in front of us makes it a little different.
Yeah. Unfortunate. See if I can get it 5 feet from the shore this time.
Trying to get it 5 feet from the shore?
Yeah. Or 5 feet or further for them. Yeah.
On that sidearm?
Correct. Because the sidearm I keep like the first 3 casts were like right into the, like right on the shoreline. Oh Jesus!
Okay.
That is not where I wanted it. Okay.
So cast like over your shoulder.
So we're
There you go. I do the same thing, so don't feel bad. When you're fishing a Senko on a bait caster like this, sometimes you get some just outlandish casts.
yeah. I think that was like my first cast where I wasn't like 2 feet from the shoreline.
But yeah, the way you're working it, you will catch fish doing it at some point. And you keep in mind to try this in some gnarly shit.
Yeah, because I mean,
Some rocks,
yeah.
bushes, around bushes, grass.
Jesus.
You got a little kink in it.
Ugh.
That's that hair grass.
That's what's growing in freaking the donut right now.
Yeah, a bunch of nasty hair grass.
Correct.
All right, let's make a move and try and
Okay.
lift a couple of fish off this point. We'll check out the other point too, and then the grass pond.
Okay.
And I also have this whole bucket of worms to show you.
Okay.
Other types of things you like to do.
If we don't catch anything, then this is just a video to help me out.
Yeah, these
But
are.
I don't care.
This is the type of stuff that it's hard to remember all this, but there's so much.
Yeah.
And I took a lot of it for granted. So many years, it's like stuff that I would do without.
Thinking. Yeah.
You just kind of instinctively do things, and you have to put it into words.
Yeah.
But lately, I've been thinking a lot about it. How do you deliver this and make sure the guy is getting the most out of what you're talking about?
Well, I mean, especially if you want to become a guide down in Florida, I mean, gotta start putting it into work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And have a good time in the process. I mean, that's the thing.
Correct.
With Daniel, I wanted to make sure he was having a good time.
Yeah.
And I didn't fish, kind of like I'm doing with you. I don't want to catch the fish that you might catch.
Yeah.
That's not good guide technique.
Correct.
Now, if you're trying to figure something out, then yeah, but at this point, we're just trying to show you something.
Correct.
I know it's tough this time of year,
Yeah.
and we'll show you some stuff that will help at different times of the year.
Gotcha.
So part of this is infomercial city.
Gotcha.
So you can see this is the contour on the bank.
Yeah.
So when you're watching, when you look down from that spot we're at, you'll see some rollers. It's like rolling hills.
Oh, okay.
Rolling hills. That is a little underwater point, kind of. It's not a really abrupt, but it's enough to be a contour change that will hold fish during your spawn. Okay? This time of year, I don't know where the fish are.
Okay.
I think they're on this connecting coast. And I've caught big fish in the really cold fall weather over here
Yeah.
on some slow thumping swim bait.
Gotcha.
That I can also show you. Make sure when we get back to the
Okay.
car, so you can buy some of these for yourself. My biggest smallmouth came from. She was right here.
Jeez.
I walked down. There's a bunny. I walked down right there, and I was like, "Oh my God, it's a carp!" And I couldn't. It's casting, nothing. I'm like, "God dang it!" she's not eating. So I was like, I walked over here and I was like, wait a minute, I'm not giving up. Are you kidding me? I'm not gonna give up. So I walked that way and I crawled on my hands and knees all the way down, got closer to the bank and saw her come up, and then that's a little sidearm twitch.
Yeah.
Just pitch it out there and then twitch, 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 twitch the little worm. Same hook, same everything. Twitch, 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 twitch. Felt a little tick, and you can feel it. Set the hook.
Oh my God.
Yeah. She was like a 411 or something.
Jeez.
And that's the fish. Remember I told you I caught the same fish 4 times?
Yeah.
That was the one.
Oh jeez.
I caught her there, and I caught her there again, and I caught her down here twice. Once on a jerkbait, once on a swim bait, twice on the worm. During the spell.
Jeez.
She's probably dead now. I mean, that fish was a decade old when I caught it.
Yeah.
We might want to pitch. There's a lay down over here. Might want to throw that big one in. Try and catch a largemouth. Where that other cormorant is.
Oh, okay.
And cast from there. Pitch it out where that cormorant, that 6-inch.
Okay.
See if that thing isn't holding a big ass largemouth or smallmouth.
Gotcha.
But it's like the only piece of wood in this pond.
Oh jeez.
And make sure that the hook point is tucked back.
Yeah, that's what I was just doing now.
I want to help you with
God damn it.
what you got. Something going on weird.
Eel loose line there. I don't want to freaking do something terribly stupid. Oh my God. I might have spoke too soon. Still feel it.
So reel it up.
Ooh, shit. Well, yeah. Somebody.
And then just cast. You could go stuff that you cast straight out.
Oh God. Of course.
There you go. Now you're safe. You can sink as long as you want.
Yeah.
There you go.
Damn it. Come on.
That's normal. I get some leaf line and all the time.
I know, and that's normally when I always get my most backlashes too.
Yeah, sometimes it'll hang up pretty good.
Okay, did I get it? Okay, there we go.
Oh, the grass is helping you out right now.
Right?
Hold it tight. Oh, they're good and tight. So this, when you cast this one, you have fish on it?
No, it's just kind of.
So let me see your worm. Make sure you're doing good.
Dang, so it came
Tuck
off.
it in real good. That's good. You can hit them real hard with this too. And the reason you hit them hard, the gauge of this hook is pretty thick. So if you get them in the bone right here,
Yeah.
you're going to want to hit it hard enough to get all the way through the bone. Now if you set it soft over here, you might get a hook set. But sometimes they'll have that thing just right and you'll bang it, you'll pop a small hook right off the top of their lip.
Gotcha.
That thing will pierce the bone. That's good. There you go, side on.
Oh my God. That's in a
Right,
tree.
now real slow. So the trick is when you do weird shit like this, you will not hang this up if you go slow. There you go, just kind of twitch it off of there. There you go. Reel up and twitch. There you go.
Oh my God.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
So the reason I say slow, anytime like you get over like that, and then if you kind of real fast, it'll come at you, and then it'll hit that bottom one and it'll loop over it. So the slower you get, you'll never get it to swing over something and wrap you up. But you're doing the right thing by trying to sidearm it out there.
Yeah.
I'm just a little bit in the way there.
You're good. All right. Try this again. That's a lot better.
Right where that way down is going to be. So watch your line and count on the way down.
It's not like really even moving now.
It'll start to swim away from you. Just see it's going away from you barely.
Yeah, you see it there.
You can tighten up just a little bit. There you go. Can you feel it tick in the bottom?
Don't think so.
Okay, wait a little bit.
Okay, that's falling towards me.
Because there's a lot of rock down there. You should be able to feel it kind of bouncing off the rock a little bit when you're dragging it.
A little something there.
There you go. I'd be so sick of them. I mean, there's big largies in here. We saw a couple that was paired up. The male looked like it was probably 6 pounds, and the female was probably 8. And they're the biggest spawning pair I've ever seen in this state.
Jeez.
Just tied up on something a little bit. Let's see what you
There it
can
is.
good.
Got it.
That's right. You see how you're gentle like that?
Yeah.
If you ever get frustrated and start really jerking, you'll set it into rocks. And
Correct.
just kind of be patient with yourself. You reel that bad jammer up. Give her another cast out there.
Oh, you gotta give me.
Try again, go real slow over all that.
Yeah.
Now you can probably just kind of twitch it. Once it comes up, give it a swing at you. There you go.
Sweet.
You can overhand it. Try and overhand it. Because you should be right about on that lay down. It looks like it's coming kind of at an angle towards us here.
Yeah.
Don't really, yeah, you're probably still sinking. See, it's barely coming at us. That line is coming at us.
Yeah.
There's a current. You see the algae coming at us?
Yeah. Oh,
So it's actually pushing that bait at us a little bit when it's sinking.
true. I didn't think about that.
Hopefully we can catch them big fucking largies. I wish this algae wasn't here. It's healthy, but really be able to see those big cruisers come up and chase this swimmer.
Damn.
Cool. Let me see your rod real fast. It's the old Colorado favorite.
Yeah. Colorado Rocky favorite.
This is a nice fucking rod. What is this, medium heavy?
Yeah.
Dude, this is badass. 7 foot. And you'll get so good with the feel of this that, like, you just lifted it there and you could tell it's not on the bottom.
Yeah.
You'll be like, oh, there's nothing. So then you stop and then you start to drag it a little and then see, yep, I'm on the bottom now. So a little bit of resistance. This is a deadly worm. At the beginning of spawn, during the spawn, and post spawn, for big cruising fish. Like, you'll see one kind of coming this way, like, oh my god. When you see it cruising, pitch that worm in front of it 10 foot, 15 foot, so it doesn't land on the fish. If it lands on the fish, it'll spook them. If you go right in front of the fish, they'll get curious, and a lot of times they'll just come up and smoke it, just ka-tong.
Gotcha.
And then you're setting the hook and it's fish on. A little rock.
Yep.
There's some sweet cobblestone down there. Cormorant's coming back. Get out of there, bird. Oh, shithead.
Eating all the future 10-pounders.
Yeah. All right, let me cast it one more time. Let's try this.
Let me get that wad off.
I'll get you. Show you a trick. So when you got that junk, pop it a little bit, pop it a little bit. It's cleaning up. Pop it a little bit, and it's clean. Pretty cool, huh?